3. It's problem 3-17. It says use the structure of each equation to rewrite it as Graciela did in problem 3-6. Then solve one of the 3 equations completely showing your work. So I'm going to solve all of them showing my work, but you only need to solve one. So I wrote them down on a separate paper. Here's letter A. So what we're doing when we do Graciela's method is really, it's what we call a U substitution that you're going to need for calculus. We're going to decide something to simplify this. You're going to choose something and you're going to call it U, or you can call it A or any letter of the alphabet, not X though, because you already have X's. So I'm going to call U. It's the repeating piece. Like I see that there's like a repeat, like this part and this part are the same. So I'm going to simplify it by just calling that part U. And I'm going to save that on my paper somewhere because I'm going to need to use it. So then I'm going to rewrite it like as I'm substituting in U every time I see this repeated part here. So 3U over 8 plus U over 4 equals 2. And now you might know how to solve this now. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the denominators by multiplying by 8. So these 8s will cancel out, and I'll end up with 3U. Now this 8 and this 4, if I do fraction math, I'll cancel out the 4, but the 8 will turn into a 2. And 2 will multiply against U, and I'll end up with 2U. And I have to do it, if I'm multiplying by 8 on the left-hand side, I also have to multiply the right-hand side. So 8 times 2, that's 16. And see now, since I only have U's in here, I can just solve for U. So 3 plus 2 is 5U equals 16. So U equals, if I divide both sides by 5, 16/5. Okay? So I know that U equals 16/5. So I'm going to go back up to my original, whatever it was that I decided to use as U. I'm going to plug that in. So I'm plugging 16/5 in right there for U. I'll do it right here where I have more room. 16/5 equals x squared minus 4/5. Okay, so then if I add 4/5 to both sides, I'll have 16/5 plus 4/5 equals x squared. 16 plus 4 is 20, so 20/5 equals x squared. Square root both sides, and x equals 20 divided by 5 is 4. So x is equal to plus or minus 2. Okay, that's letter A. We're going to keep going. Maybe we can go a little faster for letter B. So what do we want to use for U on letter B? We want to use the factor that keeps, it's not a factor, the piece that keeps repeating. So we're going to say it's 1 over n plus 1, put it in a box. We're going to substitute U in, U squared plus 6U equals. Okay, this looks like I could do a diamond problem on it, because if it was like x squared plus 6x equals 27, I can just go U squared plus 6U minus 27 equals 0, do a diamond problem. Well, it has to multiply to make negative 27. It has to add to make 6. 9 times 3. So this would be u plus 9. U minus 3. This would give me u equals negative 9 and u equals 3. So I got these two answers for u, and then I have to plug them back in up here. So when u equals negative 9, then, well, let's see, how can I solve this? I want to find out what n is. Let's do cross products, or, well, let's just multiply both sides by n plus 1. So if I multiply this side by n plus 1, the n plus 1 goes away, and then the left-hand side I get negative 9 times n plus 1. Something like that. Negative 9n minus 9 equals 1. Okay, so then add 9. Negative 9n equals 10. Divide by negative 9. So n must equal negative 10/9. But I also have u equals 3. So now for u, I'm going to put a 3 in. I'm going to have two different answers because it's a quadratic. So now I have 3 equals 1 over n plus 1. So if I multiply both sides by n plus 1, or you can think of cross products if you want, I'd have 3 times n plus 1 equals 1. 3n plus 3 equals 1. 3n equals negative 2. N equals negative 2/3. So these are our two answers. That was letter B. Make sure that's right. Yes. Okay, now we're going to do letter C. There's letter C. So I already kind of, hopefully you get the hang of it. This is the repeating part, so I'm going to let it set it equal to u, and then I plugged in the u's. Again, I look like I'm going to do some factoring. So where can I do some factoring? I think I'll do it up here. So I'm looking for something that multiplies to make 6 times negative 3. Negative 18, and it adds to make 7. So 9 times 2 would work. I'm going to use my area model box here. 6u squared and negative 3. 9u, wait a second, this needs to be negative. Negative 2u. So I think I can go 2u times 3u makes 6u. And then this has to be a 3 up here. And this has to be a negative 1. So I think this is going to be 2u plus 3, 3u minus 1. Okay, so it's just a factoring problem now. I'm going to set these each equal to 0. Normally I just look at it with my mind. Like I can do this in my mind. I know this is going to be negative 3/2, so this is going to be, I think 1/3, but I'm going to use zero product property just in case you're not able to do that in your mind. Set them both equal to 0. So u equals negative 3/2, and then u equals 1/3. Now if that's what u equals, I'm going to plug it in for u up here so I can find out what x is. Because remember, the original problem, we were trying to find out what x was. So negative 3 halves equals x plus 2 over 6. So how can I do this? I want to do cross products. I'm going to go 2 times x plus 2 is equal to negative 3 times 6. Well, what's negative 3 times? Negative 18. I'm going to do it that way. And so then I have 2x plus 4 equals negative 18 minus 4 minus 2. I think x equals negative 11. Also, I have two answers. Remember, I had the 1/3. I'm going to set 1/3 equal to this fraction, or in other words, I'm substituting 1/3 in for u. Cross products. And minus 6 on both sides, I'm going to get a 0. Divide by 3, x equals 0. These are the two answers right here.